one of the things that we have, but haven't kind of mentioned it in the specific terms, and that is that a lot of very solid commentary and scholarship is now telling us that we need to read Philippians chapter 2, verses 5 and following, with the Old Testament background of Adam Christology in mind. There is no such thing here as a pre-existent God the Son. In fact, the Greek word for pre-existence doesn't even occur in this passage or anywhere else in the New Testament. Proeparchen, to exist or to pre-exist, does not occur nor is not referred to here. Now, to be specific, notice also that it does not say who existed in the form of God. In the Greek, it reads who existing in the form of God. So it's not talking about this pre-existent state. When he was man, as has been pointed out, Jesus was existing both in the likeness of men. Now, it's interesting, in the book of Romans, the apostle tells us that Jesus appeared in the likeness of sinful flesh. Now, here's a little bit of a side version of it, and that is that you may remember when God first created Adam and Eve, they did not know they were naked. They were not ashamed. And it's been rightly, I think, assumed by much Jewish commentary that there was a certain glow or luminescence about Adam and Eve when they were originally from God's creative hand and breath. But when they sinned, this luminous sort of glow that was covering them disappeared, and they suddenly realized that they were ashamed because they were naked. Now, it says when Jesus appeared in the likeness of men, or the likeness of sinful flesh, as the man originally created, innocent and completely sinless, the Lord Jesus, I think, would have reflected that original marvelous creation that mankind enjoyed. But he couldn't walk around with this glow or halo as some of the post-Christian paintings have about him, and indeed Mary, the mother of Jesus as well, with the halo on her head. That lifts him out of the realm of humanity. So I think the whole hymn is a contrast between Adam, who wanted to be like God and grasp at being equal with God, as opposed to Jesus, who did not grasp at being like God, but took upon himself this form of being a servant and obedient at that. So he appeared as we do in our enslaved state of fallen humanity. So Jesus appeared in our likeness rather than in the original created glory that I'm sure Adam and Eve enjoyed. So the whole context of Philippians 2, I think, needs to be read with its Old Testament background, as has been clearly pointed out by Anthony when he poured himself out. It's the only place in the Old Testament where Jesus, or the servant in sacrifice, pours himself out is unto death. He pours himself out unto death on the cross, rather than pouring out a pre-existing glory that he had supposedly with God in eternity. So these are all terms which need to be understood clearly against their Old Testament Adam Christology and background, rather than post-Nicene Hellenistic interpretations. It's interesting that in his, and I'll be very brief here, in his marvelous book with a question mark titled Born Before All Time, The Dispute Over Christ's Origin, Karl Joseph Kuschel makes a very interesting point too, when he mentions that the word for being equal with God is actually, the word Isa is an adverb, and that's an important point for interpretation, a finer point we can bring out a little bit later on. So to be equal with God, as Kuschel says, means simply he did not grasp at being like God.
Right. I'm glad you brought up that this is an excellent book. Not that great a translation. This is a translation you're looking at from the German. It's a bit awkward at times. Good enough. And yes, this is a must. Thank you, Greg, for bringing this up. The Dispute Over Christ's Origin, as you can see the subtitle there.